Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We're live. We are live. I was at the Dallas Card Show yesterday. We're going to talk about that here coming up. But I did want to give everybody an update on the MySlabs deal yesterday and my rant and rave about getting kicked off. So the reason why I got kicked off is I had two BCCG slabs on there. And for me, I thought that BCCG was Beckett and was supposed to be okay, but apparently you're not supposed to put them on there. So they, instead of letting me know, they kicked me off as an alert. I went back and forth on some notifications, and I read their terms of service, and they have the right to kick people off at any point in time. So that's perfectly fine. It's their right, their refusal, their deal. And what up, Bo? What up, Bo? I got back on after pulled those slabs off. So I'm back on my slabs, and I completely understand why they did it. But the way they did it, it's their right. It's their right. So, it is what it is. It's taken care of. What's up, Mark? I missed it. Why did they suspend you? Because I had two BCCG slabs on there, and they don't allow BCCG slabs, but they didn't put it on anywhere in their terms of service or anything like that. I guess you just got to learn as you go. But that's okay. It's resolved. It's resolved. It's taken care of. And it is what it is. It is what it is. But it's fixed, and everything's back up. All this stuff is back on, and we're all up and running pretty smoothly. And then that's how that goes. That's silly that they just auto suspended without reason. Well, they have a right to.
I got a 1952 man on my basement. Want to check it out?
Who is that? A 52? A 52? Oh my gosh, we've got a special guest. We've got a special guest, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls and kids of all ages. Look who's actually here.
I didn't know if your screen could get ugly, and I think we just proved it can. And you know what? I asked you for hair gel, man, and you didn't have any.
I know, dude. What's going on? Mark Will says what's going on. Bo says, whoa, yeah, we've got the great Mr. John Newman here.
First time in Texas, man. This is I'm a New York City kid, so this is uncharted, territories for me. But gonna have fun. Going to the show. Gonna do the content creator dinner tomorrow with the hobby icon, Dr. Beckett. Going to meet him actually today. You've met him already. I haven't. So, in person.
Yeah.
So
John Evans, who's a big supporter, does a lot of commenting. He says hello. So good morning, John, from across the pond. It's really, really cool that you're able to join us live. So I've been touting this Shohei Ohtani giveaway all day long, or all week long. And this is the contest. In the comments, after this is post who the guest is. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Good morning, Greg. Good morning. Post in the comments who the guest is, and I will randomize who wins this card, and I will send it out to you and announce it on Monday. So that's why I kept touting. That's why I kept making sure everybody stayed in, because I wanted to have this as part of the contest. This card's right.
Plus, you
here.
wanted to make sure, the plane landed. You don't want to, say, hey, so-and-so might be here, and then, God forbid, something happens, and then you got to say, the plane crashed and he didn't make it. So.
Well, we've got all that. Well, the weather was pretty okay. Look at this. Mr. Herman is joining. Good morning, Herman. Good morning. I wanted to have a special guest on for you today.
So just when you thought your YouTube screen couldn't get twice as ugly, we're wrong.
So Dr. Newman, Dr. Thomas Newman.
When did that happen? You go to Texas and you automatically become is that
exactly.
Dr. Beckett?
I
thought he went to college and actually earned it. He just moved to Texas, and that's all it takes. So,
yeah.
So can I keep that when I go back?
You can, but you are now Dr. John Newman. So yeah, Dr. Thomas Newton's collection went on sale, and it looks
20 million bucks.
Yep. He I didn't know he contracted COVID. He contracted
Yeah.
COVID, died at the age of 73.
No relation, by the way,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Oh,
that would have been nice.
Get some of the 20
Yeah,
minutes.
I know. I'm assuming there's a 48 leaf Jackie in there that would have never made it to
to auction.
Yeah, to auction and a relative. So.
Well, yeah, and that's the PSA. The PSA 9 is 53. I mean, that's an incredible find. A PSA 9 53 Gowdy Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
Good
I mean, some
grief.
of the stuff I looked. I mean, there's too much to like go over every card, but I mean, just the conditions on some of these and the just what they are is going. Family's going to be doing very well after these sales are complete. So.
Wow, look at Herman. This is an improvement for the dude channels. Wow, thanks, Herman.
I don't know if I go that far, but.
And then we got Mr. Korean Cardboard Dan and Mark Hoyle. It says you're a doctor only in Central Time, so you lose your doctoral when you go back.
Yeah, it's like the scene in Field of Dreams, right? With
Moonlight
Graham, where he crosses and he can't go back.
You can't go back. You can't go back. Let's see. So and then. So that's a pretty good. And then 1990 Fleer Ultras and 30th anniversary is today. That's kind of cool.
Speaking of Field of Dreams, you can rent. I talked about this on my show. You can rent the house where Kevin Costner and Amy Madigan lived on the show. That's a real house. That's not like a movie prop set. That's a real house. It's $500 a night, but what some guys do, it's like a guy's trip. You get 5, 6. It's a big house. It's got like 5 or 6 bedrooms, and everyone chips in like $100, and people fly in. You party for the day at the Field of Dreams house. The field's right there. I think it's very little extra. You can even rent the field out and play catch on it. So that's one of my things to do list is sort of have a guy's trip to the Field of Dreams house for a night. It's in Iowa, like the movie, and Dyersville.
I'm in.
Yeah,
let's just get it planned, man.
Maybe obviously post pandemic, even though it is open now, but give us some planning. If anyone else wants to make a big guy's trip out of it, that's my plan, and be fun to just post from there. You're in the house, on
all the
field,
pictures.
And
would Herman? The question is, would Herman actually fly for that trip?
It'd be funny too, maybe I don't know how busy Kevin Costner is going to be, but maybe he'll come hang out with us.
Yeah, it looks like you can double. Let's see, Mark says I think you can rent double day field in Cooperstown, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah, to me, that's right in my backyard. So I've been there so many times. I've watched games there, and I mean it's a great field, and obviously the history of that town and the hall, but. For me, I sort of take it a little bit for granted for being there. So, I'm literally an hour away. When I coach high school football, my high school that I coached played Cooperstown High School every year. So I literally was even in town, even for not going to the Hall of Fame, just playing a football game there. So
yeah. Well, speaking of special locations, tonight we're going to the Ranger game.
We are.
We're going to the barn.
See the new, and a funny story with that for those watching and listening. I knew it, but it slipped my mind. So when I was looking at the weather report back in New York for today's game, it had called for thunder showers, and so I messaged you and said, "Hey man, I hope we don't get rained out." And I was being serious because it had slipped my mind that they have a retractable roof, and you thought I was kidding, like being my sarcastic self. And so you didn't pick up right, and then you realized I wasn't kidding. You're like, dude, there's a retractable roof. And I'm like, oh yeah.
I thought you were joking. I seriously thought you were joking.
This is what happens when you get old, Brad. Your mind starts going. So
boy, can I
I'm gonna have to
my
take
wife?
some. Yeah, those Prevagen commercials never look so good.
DJ Rose says good morning, and then Herman says the wife cut me off because of hurrying. Oh, so you're blaming her, Herman? I'll make sure that I tell her that you said it was her fault that you didn't come to Dallas. So, but speaking of that game, Tyler Ivey is actually going to pitch tonight. He's the number 9 prospect in Houston's system. He's got off to a rough start with a 7.11 ERA, and
Just how we planned it.
yeah. And then what's going to happen is that he is a strikeout machine. We're probably going to have another no-hitter tonight.
I don't know. Now we might not have the no-hitter. I thought, Lance McCullers was actually, I play a lot of fantasy baseball, so I'm always looking at the probables. And earlier in the week, McCullers was supposed to get the start for Houston. So they bumped him probably, I'm assuming, to tomorrow and going with Ivy. So I thought McCullers had a shot at a no-hitter the way the Rangers are playing. I mean, they called me up. I used
Did
to
they?
play.
Okay, yeah.
Hey,
I might be able to pitch a
we know.
no-hitter.
Well, the Rangers called me up and said, "We know you're in town and you used to play, and we're not doing so hot. You want to, take some batting practice, and we might sign you afterwards." So,
Exactly.
I'm kind of busy with the card show. Like even I don't want to play there. So.
Yeah, I hear you. No, what's going to be interesting is tonight when we get into the stadium, I'm actually going to go to the ticket booth and ask for the physical tickets.
Yeah, will they do that?
Yeah, they'll do that.
Yeah,
so just in case,
they're all digital now. The ones I have that we'll be using are digital. So
yeah,
that'd be cool to have the actual hard copies.
Yeah, so we'll have the actual hard copies for tonight.
What's cool is I didn't realize you hadn't been there yet, being a Ranger fan.
So I haven't been, so it'll be my first time to go to the barn. And Mr. Norton's going, so it'll be you, me, and Norton, and we'll kind of hang out, and so that'll be fun.
Maybe the stars will align and the Rangers will not get shut out today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not claiming victory or anything like that. Maybe they'll just put a run on the board. So.
I hear you. Well, maybe I'd actually get a hit. Good grief. So back to news and notes. There's at the top of the deal. There's six affordable Mahomes cards from Beckett. Yeah, and they're actually around $20 to $50 for what they put out there. So that was kind of nice. I did want your opinion on Onyx is coming out with vintage basketball. I know you're not a huge basketball guy, but what do you think about Onyx jumping into this basketball?
Well, Onyx, the brand, like their cards are really sharp.
They're very nice.
Obviously, they're not, they're not in the mainstream. So some people just, I have some Onyx. I have some of their autographs, like stuff that I bought autograph cards, but it's not a product I necessarily open. Not because I think it's terrible. I just, it can only, the budget only goes so far, and I try to stick mainstream. But seeing them in the National in 2019 in Chicago, stopped by their booth, and their cards are really sharp looking. You almost wish. I remember, thinking to myself, you wish they were a little more, popular and more accepted hobby wise. I think we're seeing that a little bit more. People are more open minded to different brands. Some of that reason is for what product goes for and the ability to find it. And so people will branch out to just see what they can get. And I think Onyx is sort of a more affordable option if you're kind of skunked, on your Topps and Panini lines. And so I don't have a problem with the product or I'm not against it. I don't have an anti-Onyx. I just think it's sort of that one-off in terms of brands, and but they're sticking with it. They're obviously doing well. They're still in business, so they're selling product, and to each their own. I do have, like I said, some autographed cards. It's just not a product that and how I don't even remember how I got some of them, whether it was in a collection buyout or a lot buyout. But I don't have a problem with it. I've sold them and obviously bought them individually as well. So, hopefully, maybe they'll make some moves. I think they already are. I think they are making some moves. So.
Yeah, Lance is a good guy. I've had a couple of conversations with him. He's a really good guy. He's a guy who's really he's very passionate about prospecting. He's very passionate about first year, second year players. So it's right in his wheelhouse to do prospecting cards and on card auto. He literally said he will never do a sticker unless he absolutely dropped said had to, but he actually travels around to these players and hangs out with them and lets them sign on card, which is really cool. I mean,
that is cool. I mean, there's really no debate. And I think if you have a choice between an on-card auto and a sticker auto. Now, sticker autos don't bother me as much as they typically bothered most, hobby consumers. But yeah, I mean, even I'll tell you, I mean, who wouldn't want an on-card auto over a sticker auto? I think that's just sort of common sense. When you look at a line like Onyx, Brad, you wonder if maybe he's positioning himself. And I don't want to speak for him. This is just me playing, armchair, CEO of an off-brand product. You wonder if he's positioning himself maybe to be acquired by one of those bigger companies and setting that up. And nothing wrong with that if you're a businessman and you're doing that and they like what he's doing and kind of want to, absorb the brand. What if Topps bought Onyx and just kept it, the Onyx, and just created a line on, same thing with Panini or whoever, and so.
Well, he's got a special relationship with Futera over in China, so it's he's got some exclusives with them. That would make him an attractive property to sell out. I mean, we've had conversations with Brian Gray on Hobby Highline, and
I think he's kind of alluded to it.
Yeah,
Brian's kind of alluded to that at some point. When he decides like he's willing to kind of step away, he may sell. The Leaf / I guess I will say Leaf / Pro Set now.
Don't sell Pro Set.
Well, I got to say, whoever buys Leaf, that would probably be part of the fine print that the Pro Set line, the Pro Set name, is part of the deal. So I don't think they're going to let, Brian keep Pro Set. I mean, they might make that deal with it. He might make that deal where like you can buy Leaf, but I'm keeping Pro Set.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday. I was at the show yesterday. I'll talk about that in a second, but he was running around.
He's buying. He's a buyer.
He was buying big time.
He's definitely a buyer. He's not a modest guy, and he'll tell you, I got this much money, and I'm coming to buy. What do you got for me? Some people don't like that. They think it's flexing a little bit. I guess it is, but I mean, if you got it, you got it. I don't really personally. I don't have an issue with it. And if you want to sell some stuff, it's definitely a great. Some of the stuff he buys makes its way into Leaf products. Yep. Imagine you sell him something, and there's your card, and you see it opened up and pulled out. So. It's
that'd be kind of cool if you looked at the serial number and all of a sudden you got that serial number. You're like, wait a minute, I already had this card. What's what?
It does repack. So, and some of the stuff he'll say, I need some repack inventory. Who's going to help me out? So, I like that. If someone wants to sell and they need some money, I will say this: whether you like him or you don't like him, he's very fair with what he buys. What I mean? He kind of tells you, hey, here's where the comp's at. I'm going to get really close to that, but I need this inventory. So
yeah. So in a couple of notes coming out, the Select basketball information came out. Supposed to come out on July 9th. I did some hobby stuff. Select's always a complicated product. It's always fun to open, but very complicated. You're going to get 5 cards per pack, 12 packs per box for a total of 60 cards per hobby box, and there's a 12-pack case. You're going to get 3 autos instead of the usual 2, so they added that. 12 Prism Parallels, 10 base premieres, 2 base. I can't read my courtside. I could barely read my handwriting there. But I did look at Blowout, and it didn't have any prices. So I guess the answer to that is if you have to ask what the price is, then you can't afford the box itself. So I'm thinking $1 bazillion for.
It's like cards in a showcase, right? Where the dealer, and I'm a dealer, right? You don't price them. That's probably like, I got to ask how much this is, right? So I'm a price guy. So like when I put my stuff out, my showcases, it's all price. Now, will I negotiate? Sure. But when I'm a consumer, I hate asking like, how much is that? How much is that? Right. I like to sort of see the price and know it. But where Wax is at, man, that doesn't surprise me. And Select as a brand that is really making a move. It's kind of closed that gap on Prism and Optic. And, if you look at Select, especially on the football side, to me, it's even a better looking.
I agree. 100%
than Prism. Prism's got that sort of, brand recognition, but I think people are starting to catch on, like for aesthetics. If you know, it's more eye catching, more popping, and I'll take a Prism rookie of a decent guy. I'll take a Select just as much as a Prism.
I will too.
know.
I will. I like Select. I had a bunch last year, and
And we see some of the prices between like the same players, rookie card and Select and Prism. We see that gap that used to be wider. We see that gap closing now as more people start to realize. The other thing with Select that some people don't realize, it's not sold on the retail level.
Yes,
where Prism is. So you can't go. Well, you can't go in. I was going to say
you can't go anywhere
into Walmart and Target and get a Select buy, but you can't go into Walmart and Target and get anything unless you like some cheapy plastic sleeves, and even those are probably gone too. But
yep.
So Select is sort of a hobby only product, which makes it less production, and I think it's sort of gotten a raw deal, but I think that raw deal is starting to get corrected on the secondary market. People are starting, the light bulbs are going off, and people are like, I think there's less, of this than Prism. I think there's, what the ratio is. I've heard, I don't know if it's true, but that it's 2-to-1. There's twice as much Prism as Select. So if you're thinking of Prism is double the production of Select. Select should be worth more than it probably.
It should. Mark, I did not set up at the show. I will probably set up in the latter part of the year. I'm having spirited talks with Mrs. Texas Card Dude over that. So it's just going to be a matter of time. It's just making sure that it's the right time for both of us. Let's see. Michael says, hello, gents. Can't wait to hear from your updates from the show. I hate pricing, but I understand. Do you know any advertise? Do you see anyone advertise, sell, or at under eBay? No, so nobody has done that. Select Retail is all over. Hobby now. Select Retail basketball is coming too. So I knew baseball, but I thought they were discontinuing that, Michael. So I'm not 100% sure either way on that. But I'm not sure.
Shameless plug.
All right, go ahead.
But you're involved
in it.
Come on,
shameless plug.
The new Sports Card Nation came out today, episode 128. If you're listening to
Not
it,
episode 228.
Yeah, on the episode, I kept referring to it as episode 228. Again, don't get old, folks. It's not what it's cracked up to be. But my guest is Brad, so I thought it was fitting to since I'm here. And when we released the show, I had to scramble and do everything on a Wednesday night instead of a Thursday night because I was on a plane. But we had fun during the interview, laughed, and so check that episode out. And, I figured it was apropos to have that episode drop today when I'm here with you. It makes perfect sense. So.
Yep. So will you, while you're here, do the honor and actually do the release calendar in John Newman Sports.
You want me to do it the way I do, which I take like a minute and 30 seconds and run through it because Drew, when he does it on his show, he spends like 30 minutes.
We don't want to do the 30.
Yeah, I'm like, Drew, people can find that information out. I might add a few comments. So today on the 21st, we have 2020-21 Topps Chrome Bundesliga Soccer. Wednesday, all the 26, 2021 Topps Sterling Baseball. One of my favorite products. It's coming back. You see Sterling baseball cards. They're some of the really sharpest looking cards. So I might have to get some of that. 2021 Upper Deck SPX Hockey. 2020-21 Panini Court Kings Basketball. And 2021 Panini Legacy Football on Thursday, the 27th, the brand we just discussed. Onyx Vintage Baseball Collection. And on Friday, one of my favorite days of the week, I don't know why, but it is, 2021 Panini Contenders Draft Picks Collegiate Football. Try saying that 10 times fast. 2021 Leaf Metal Football Hobby and Jumbo. And here, this is something I talked about on my show. Old guys like me, right? 2021 Wild Card Matte White Football.
There you go.
Remember the Wild Card brand?
I love Wild Card.
Where you got let's say you got like a Troy Aikman and it had like 500 stripe on it. You could send that card and get 500 of the base card, and back then that was like the coolest thing. Well, it's back. I don't think they're doing that in the same fashion, but they brought the brand back, and I'm efforting. I'm going to have the people who are bringing the brand back probably on Sports Card Nation to talk about that, and it'll be we'll see how the product does. Again, it's a new. Even though it's an old brand, it's in modern day terms, and it's a new brand to what we have, in the marketplace. So it's funny to see, these things come back. It's like, wild card football. I remember I see the boxes. And, and if you have any sealed original like 91 wild card football. That stuff brings pretty good coins. So
I was looking for some at the show yesterday. I didn't find any. I found some other old classic stuff. I found some Comic Ball. You remember the Comic Ball? Yeah. I found some Comic Ball.
It'll be interesting to see what wild card coming back. What kind of effect does it have? Any sort of trampoline effect on the original? Stuff.
Yeah.
Or be interesting. It's funny looking through some of my boxes. Sometimes I'll find those wild cards with the stripes on them, and I'm like, I wonder if they'll still send me the 50 Alvin Harpers.
I want Brian Gray to autograph every single one of those 50.
Yeah, well, that's not him. That's not his brand. That it sounds like it should be.
It should. I thought it was.
You would think so, but it's not. I don't know. Like this new cup, this new line. I don't know who's behind it. It's funny. Maybe Brian is secretly, because when the whole pro set's coming back, I thought it was Panini.
I thought it was Panini too,
and then it was Leaf. So.
It was him doing trickery on everybody.
Yep.
Doing trickery.
Maybe he's doing that again.
I don't know. We'll see today. We'll see if we can corner him and ask him if he's pretty quick for a big dude. He's quick. And try to catch up.
When you're carrying around that much cash, you got to be a little quick.
That's true. So here is a very interesting, extremely interesting, and Bo, this is going to be very interesting for you because we all do Bowman first. We all do Bowman first. We all go after the Bowman first of players, and we all do. Probably everybody on here does prospecting at some point in time.
I'm big in that. It's getting harder with what the prices of Bowman are doing. You thought 2020 was insane with the price of Bowman in 2021. True confession, I haven't even opened any 2021. I haven't, for the prices it is on the secondary market, I've just sort of steered clear. Now I'll buy singles. I do have plenty of singles, but I haven't opened the pack, and can't obviously walking into Walmart or Target. I haven't seen any on the shelf.
So we did both. Thank you everybody. I was able to get 3 boxes. I was able to get 3.
You'll find out why we're laughing in like 20 seconds.
I was able to get 3, and I'm like, hey John, do you want to get boxes? And he's like, yeah, I'll get a couple. So I logged out real quick, and then we got back on, and then
I put 5 in my cart, and I have a Target account, so all my info was saved. I just picked my payment method, hit the order. It looked like it went through, and then when it had my listed orders, it said, what did it say? Cancel.
Ordered cancel. So it was,
apparently, being a doctor here in Texas didn't get me very far on the Target website. I'm a little disappointed. Dr. Newman is disappointed.
Yes, paging Dr. Newman. So the reason why I mentioned prospecting is Topps Inception is coming out. Okay,
one of my favorite brands.
The information came out. It's 1 pack per box, 7 cards. Okay, foil stock, 100 players. But here's the kicker, and this is very interesting. They're doing Inception introductions, and it means a player's first appearance on a Bowman product. So what does that do now for the Bowman first? You've got Bowman first, and now Inception. You've got Bowman Inception. So it completely confuses and muddies that prospecting Bowman first, Bowman Inception.
Are they putting a first, the first Bowmans have that first Bowman logo on it? Are they doing something to the equivalent on the Inception? I'm just for full disclosure, I love the Inception line. I know some people don't. I think it's a great product. I usually open that's a product I'll buy a case or two cases of opens a few and then sell the boxes. And then I buy singles even on the secondary market. The thicker cardstock. To me they sell for less than they should, so it's a good buying opportunity for the long term if you want to just kind of put some stuff away. This doesn't bother me. It is, it's a Topps product. If they're going to make that card in the exception release the first, piece of cardboard that player is going to appear on, I like it. I'm not opposed to it. I know some, the true Bowman guys will be like, hey, I don't want that. And I get that too. We're each entitled to, our opinions. It doesn't bother me, but I can see this being a bone of contention with a lot of Bowman people. And I'm a Bowman person too, so it just doesn't bother me as much. And, could they still pull it off and say first Bowman? Because it's not it's not Bowman Inception. Now it's Topps Inception. So there's that Pandora's box too. Can they still do the first Bowman, or will purists say no, that's false advertising? He appeared on Inception already, So
they literally said it said in quotes Inception introduction.
I'm gonna go grab my water real quick. Go ahead.
It said Inception's introduction, so it may be an insert for the actual Topps Inception.
So it might not be a regular numbered base card, and then there's another Pandora's box. So
which do you go after? Do you go after the real rookie card, Herman, or do you go after the rookie years?
By the way, this is vodka, but we put it.
It's water.
We put it in a Sandy.
So and they're actually going to do on-card autos. It's not going to be regular autos. It's going to be short print autos. There's going to be silver signings, which they're going to, instead of doing the black or the blue, they're actually going to have silver autographs that looked really, really nice. And then you got your parallels, your aqua blue. They've got aqua, blue, and fuchsia.
Aqua blue sounds like that cheap cologne.
Or water.
From like the Avon.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, my mother-in-law bought me some aqua blue for Christmas.
Some aqua. Yes, my wife bought me some aqua blue.
When she comes over, I put it on so she thinks I'm using it. The aqua blue from Avon.
Avon calling. Those are good, so.
It doesn't bother me, but I can see purists really going to, take exception to. They're going to take exception to Inception.
That's right. So, Bo, I expect an entire show on Monday about. You're on a roll today.
I don't know. I'm funnier in Texas, apparently.
you
become a doctor, and so I don't know. I'm not going back home. Can I stay here?
There you go. I think
I'll pay rent. I've got to get a job, and I'll pay rent.
Well, maybe your job could be teaching me more about cars.
Well, I have to have all my stuff shipped down or drive down.
My wife's sitting in there in their office going, I'll go to the show.
And stay there.
So I'll give you a report of the show. I mean, I haven't even talked to John about a lot of the stuff that was there. So I got there super early after the show. I left, got there about 2:00, and because I got a vendor pass, I got to get in and hang out with Rich Klein, and that was nice. That was really nice. We stood out there. We played pseudo security guard to make sure vendors didn't come in. And then when they all saw Kyle, they're like, Kyle, can we check in early? And Kyle being the super nice guy that he is, he said, yeah, check in. So people started checking in early before the deal was even set up. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But it turned into a fun, chaotic mess. It was awesome. I talked a lot about with Uncle Rich about show setup and how he does his and how Kyle does his.
As someone who I did my first card show at 15 years old. You probably heard me say that numerous times. If you listen to my show, and I'm a show guy. In New York, we're not, shows have stopped for the moment. So I haven't done my own show where as a dealer in over probably it's almost 2 years now, because I even took a little bit of a break as the show kind of picked up some steam and kind of focused on that. But, show. I love shows, man. They're an integral part. Shout out to Bo who's doing to Wisconsin, and shows are an integral part, a fabric of this hobby. We all like buying cards online, and you don't have to necessarily talk face to face someone. But there's something about instant gratification. It's something about being at a show among your fellow hobbyists, talking to them, negotiating. There's the art of negotiating to acquire cards that you want to add to your inventory. And so shows will always, have a special place in my heart. We're seeing a resurgence of them,
Yes.
even under pandemic, times. Not New York yet, but and I get asked a lot of times. We don't have a lot in Syracuse, and I have promoted shows years ago, and every once in a while, someone local that knows what I do will say, "God, what about getting shows going?" We used to do a lot of hotel ones, Ramadas, Sheratons. We used to do mall shows. We have a lot
Mall
of
shows. Wow.
3 days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And we have like 6 or 7 malls in different surrounding cities, and it was like the mall tour. Like one weekend we were at this mall, another weekend we're at this mall. I don't know if Syracuse, I hate to say it, but I don't know if Syracuse has the market to sustain that. Dallas and Syracuse are apples to oranges, and so
you're gonna get a taste of that. While
I don't want to do a show and not really have it be super successful, because as Bo knows and any other show promoter knows, you got to charge tables, you got to advertise, you want people to come in and transact and spend money, and I don't want to charge someone for tables and not enough people walk through that door, and that's on me. Like I can't make people come in, but you still feel sort of responsible. And if the dealer has a bad show, who are they going to complain to first, right?
They blame Bo.
Did you promote this? Where did you advertise? And I just don't know if the Syracuse market is ready for definitely not a big show, but maybe a one-day Ramada show like we used to do. That's something I'd consider. And I'm just so, I get asked to do that every once in a while from people who know me, and it's like just the time-wise, that I just, I'm already strapped for time. I like to sit in my hot tub. And so that's gonna
sit in the hot tub.
So,
I wouldn't know that.
So that's gonna kill some of my, getting the show going is gonna kill some of my hot tub time. And but going back to here in Dallas, it's enough with the Syracuse stuff. But this has become, when it looked like the national may not go down, this became sort of the de facto national. That's when I said to you, I'm thinking about going to this. And you're like, come on, let's go.
Let's go.
That's why we are here today. So, and now it looks like the national is going to, be green lighted. So, shows are great. It's a great opportunity to meet people that maybe in an online presence. Like I know Dr. Jim pretty well now after a couple of years. I've never met him. I'm going to meet him today for the first time.
I'm so recording
Uncle
that.
Rich Klein.
I'm so recording that.
We've talked. Me and Rich have talked hours, right? But never met in person. And so that's going to, and then even people you've already met, kind of seeing them again. It's sort of like a reunion. So shows are great. And it's not just the buying or selling the cards. It's all that interaction and, being with people who enjoy the hobby like you. You have that community, and, I'm going to cry here, so I'm going to stop right there.
So I was there last night. Last night was a vendor night for a couple of hours, and it was packed. It was packed. And then they let the VIPs in. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that just with the VIPs and with the vendors, it was packed. Tonight is going to be insane after they let the general public in, and Saturday will be crazy. I may go Facebook Live again just so I can show everybody, because we're in the back, so I might be able to get internet feed
Hey, let's
Oh my
plug
gosh.
shame. You know, I'm all
Okay,
about
another
shameless plugs.
Go ahead.
Shameless
Let's shameless plug it
Check, I'm
again.
wearing my own shirt. I actually didn't really do that. I just grabbed the shirt. I feel like it would be like Van Halen, where like bands wear their favorite bands. I'm like,
You're
like
being
it
the
would be
guy.
like Van Halen wearing a Van Halen shirt on stage. But Hobby Hotline tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Central Time.
10 a.m.
I
Central.
get to say that and actually be in it live from the show. I can't promise anyone's safety or health or well-being. It should be interesting. We've never done we've done live show, but we've never done this where everyone's sort of in the same place at the same time. I don't know if we're going to have camera issues, sound issues. It may be just worth watching just for the train wreck effect.
It's going to be a train. I'm predicting a train wreck right now.
I don't know. It may get to, so that's why I'm drinking the vodka today.
Yeah, we're going to
show prep. So,
he's not driving, by the way. I am sort
of course. Don't drink and drive. You could spill something. No, all joking aside, that's okay with that. But and it's not really for those who maybe don't know my humor. It's
with water. It's what, and this is just regular Folgers.
I don't want someone like just popping in and saying, "There's two guys that do drinking vodka. It's 9 a.m." What a bunch of alcoholics, right?
Mom, this is coffee. That's water.
But so yeah, we're gonna try to pull that off. What I think, I don't even know how many, 6 or 7 of us, potentially next to each other. Wear deodorant, please. And
yes.
So
take a shower.
Yeah, I'll be doing that once a week. I'm gonna pick tomorrow for my day, for everyone else's sake. But it's gonna be fun. Regardless of it's gonna be fun for us. I hope it's fun for other people. We'll be satisfied no matter what. But no, all joking aside, I hope it goes well and it'll be fun. And we'll probably be talking over each other. We might have to have on Jeopardy where you have to buzz in and then give your
you raise your hand and everybody else has to be quiet.
So we'll see how it goes. But definitely. If you want to turn in and check that out, again, I can't promise anyone's health and safety. I want to take Duke, too. I know you feel the same way. Brody the kid was supposed to come down to Texas. He's battling a little bit of a health issue. And so I want to shout out to Brody.
Shout out to Brody. Love you, Brody.
And if
you're my boy, Blue.
If you're of the praying variety, if you're a person of faith, little prayer for Brody as he's dealing. 13 years old, and he's dealing with stuff with 13-year-old kid shouldn't have to deal with. And as a dad, I'm going to get serious here. As a dad of a 21-year-old, and been very blessed. He's been healthy. It's
dad of a 21-year-old.
Isn't that crazy, man? Listen, I've always said, my name's Newman, but I'm really old. So, man, I'm hot today. But as a dad, and Brody's a good friend of mine, and love the kid, and I hope it all turns out well. And he's a sports kid like I was, and right now he's got to stay on the sidelines and halt production of his content creation.
Yep.
And so we hope it all goes well. I was hoping to see him here, but health obviously comes first. That's a no-brainer. And, I'd like to see him back on the mic and back on that field playing the sports that he loves. He's a great advocate and ambassador of this hobby. As someone who started as a 7-year-old kid, 41 years later now, we need that next generation.
We do.
Some will argue, well, we don't. We just need people in the hobby. No, we need kids too, and so hoping he gets back healthy soon and back on the horse. And so, Brody, if you happen to be listening or see this later, I know I've texted you too, but we're thinking about you even though you're not here.
Yeah, you would go back to a couple of the comics, bro. First, Brody, love you, brother. Love you. Get better. Praying for you every morning. Big Unit says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Unit. John Evans, love to go to a card show maybe one day. Come to Texas.
If you've never been to a card show, like maybe you're in an area, I'm not trying to pick on you, but definitely got to get to card show. It's hard to explain the dynamics of you can and you can't. It's just to go in person. It's it's an experience.
And then Ziggy Michael, good morning, Michael. It said the PSA Jordan last night sold for $300,000. You want to talk about a market correction?
Yeah.
Going from 1.5 to
We're seeing that.
300?
I get asked, like any content creator or anyone in the hobby, right? Is this going to, come back to earth, or this going to, is this going to crash? Is the bottom going to fall out? And no, the market's not going to crash. The bottom's not going to fall out. I see you laughing at
I'm
something. It's not what I'm saying.
So Unit says, good thing the 700K Jordan sale wasn't on eBay, because that would definitely be a return.
Yeah. Imagine that. Imagine you sell a car
Oh
for
my
that much
gosh.
on eBay, and then it's like a chargeback.
Yes, and
like,
eBay would probably side with them too.
What did it? So I don't know. I've never sold that expensive of a card, obviously, on eBay. Like, what if you don't have that money? Like, I don't think does PayPal even there's, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah,
I got to think a transaction like that sort of held sort of in
escrow or something, yeah,
until the time limit expires, and then it transfers. Oh, imagine you sell that, you spend the money. If they didn't do it like that, you sell that card, you spend that money on something else,
and then the chargeback goes back,
and you're like, what am I going to do? Like, everything's for sale. Like, you put a for sale sign out in front of your house, right?
Yeah.
And I'm still 450,000 short after selling my house.
I buy that many Pete Alonso rookie cards.
So I don't have enough Arena hologram Ken Griffey Juniors to cover this, but so I don't know. That's great. We're seeing. I've said this on my show. We're seeing what I would call a correction. I think we're seeing sort of things come. A lot of what's going on in the financial world. Stimulus is probably coming to an end. The pandemic, getting on the good side of the pandemic with numbers and vaccinations and people going back to work. I'm not going to get into politics. We see some stuff going on in the world. We see gas prices, rising up. And so a lot of that is where, it's going to hurt discretionary income. People are going to pull back, tighten their belts, pull back on the reins. And I think we're seeing some of these sales figures come down to probably levels they probably realistically should have been at. We had a perfect storm, I called it. Not that you want the pandemic to happen, no one wished for that, but you had people working from home, had more screen time for eBay and other selling platforms. You got basically free stimulus money, and if you were working like me and my wife were, I'm fully transparent, that was just extra money to do. The hot tub we bought last year was a result of the first stimulus package. The last stimulus package is a fire table and 4 swivel rockers. So if you're working, it's discretionary income that you can put into other things, and many people in the hobby obviously put it into the hobby. And so now we're seeing sort of like the party's sort of over. And I don't want to say the party's over, because the hobby is still very strong, but the big party is sort of over, and then you have your diehards like myself and everyone else that are always going to be in the hobby no matter what, and that's what we're going to see. And then we're going to see sort of prices come down, and like in this instance the Jordan that Ziggy mentioned.
Yeah, so bring back the hot. Look at bring back the hot tub.
I think I'm retiring the hot tub. Somebody told me, this is a true story. I'm very, I'm honest. I can laugh at myself. Someone told me, man, I love you, but when you did the hot tub, you lost me. So I lost one person over the hot tub, and but.
Hey, I enjoy the hot tub.
Listen, I like it too, but I don't know if we'll do. I think there's enough shows between Sports Car Nation, Hobby Quick Hits, and my once-a-month appearance on Hobby Hotline. And so we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, so we'll do again. We'll do the shameless plug. Watch the train wreck tomorrow. That's going to be on Hobby Hotline, 10 a.m. Central. We're doing.
Who knows? Maybe we're using reverse psychology, right?
That's it. Yeah, there we go.
This might not be great, and it turns out to be good. But either way, we're gonna have fun, and something we haven't really done before, and like in this term. So,
And there'll be content. There'll be the content creators deal, and I'm sure there'll be some cameras and phones and whatnot.
people walking in front or behind.
Yep.
Maybe we'll get someone jump on screen and say "Baba Booey." I don't know.
That would be awesome. It'd be awesome if
I might do it. I might do it if no one else does.
Have the obligatory. But yeah, it's going to be fun. I've already had a Jeff Wilson sighting. So Jeff Wilson has been there already. He was kind of in our back corner doing some pre-recording for Dallas. So I know he's here.
Contrary to other reports, he does put his pants on one leg at a time.
He does? Oh my gosh. He does it like float. And then
if he cuts, he bleeds.
Yeah.
So,
but he doesn't say.
I'm just saying.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood.
And then you got the.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. That's where I draw the line with So I got my hands right here, interlocked.
So yes. We'll be looking out for some people's coming.
Yeah, if you're coming to the show today or tomorrow, which are the 2 days we'll probably be there, I'd love to talk to anyone. Say hello.
Take a picture, please. Take selfies. Selfie. I would love to see a selfie with John.
No, listen.
I might actually put a bounty out there for a selfie with John.
Listen, when you're ugly like me, selfies are sort of a bad word. Not that I won't refuse one, but I don't want to break anyone's camera phone. There's a lot of legal stuff that could happen from selfies with me. So,
I will be more than happy to take a picture with you and John, just to get John more on camera, just to make it more awkward.
I think I get enough camera time. Some would argue maybe too much. I'm even crashing your show today. So
there ain't nothing wrong with that. We're just having fun. And if you listen to the podcast today, it's good. It's basically just like this.
We laugh. We may be amusing ourselves. Now we talk about some hobby stuff.
We do.
Yeah, you got to dig it out. It's in there somewhere. But we have a lot of fun, and that's the thing. And I've said this. If you're not having fun in this hobby, I don't want you to leave. I'm not telling you to leave, but reassess what you're doing. Some people say get out, but if you reassess and you can't have fun, then you got to question maybe it's not your thing. But I know what people are like. I can't buy wax at a decent price. I can't open stuff. This is not the hobby I entered, years ago. I don't want to do this anymore. There's other ways to pivot from buying singles. Bo collects all Cubs. Then you can collect teams. You can collect a player. I used to open a ton of wax. I've said this many times. I open a lot less wax than I've ever done before. It's been great for my bottom line, and as a seller, it really it's helped me. Opening wax, as much fun it is, an adrenaline rush. 70% of the time, 80% of the time, it's a losing proposition. I have better luck going to a blackjack table, and the odds are more.
We were just talking about blackjack.
I played. That's what I played on the whole flight. The flight was 4 hours. It didn't seem like 4 hours. I was playing blackjack in Texas Hold'em, which I've never done on a plane before. It was pretty cool. It made the flight. I didn't realize it. There was a kid. I would say I would put him about 22. He put the food tray down, put his head down, and slept the whole time. I can't sleep on a plane very well. I can't sleep even in cars very well. I tried the other day while I was driving, and I wound up in the other lane.
The other lane going the wrong way.
I'll joke aside. I can't sleep in moving vehicles. I don't know what it is. My son can do it.
Oh my gosh!
My wife can do it. I'm very jealous. If me and my wife go on a trip, to Pittsburgh for Steel game, we take turns driving. So when I'm driving, she's out cold, and when she's driving, I can't sleep. She's like, get some sleep because you're gonna be taking over, at some point. It's like I can't. I try.
Yeah. Well, when Mrs. Texas Cardu's driving, she's not paying attention to us. when she's driving and I'm in the passenger seat, it's like 1, 2, 3, out like a light bulb. It's like
I wish
like a baby in the back.
I
seat
wish
of
I
the car.
could. Like I wanted. It wasn't too bad. I've never. I don't fly a ton, but the last time I flew was to Chicago for the 2019 National.
Yeah.
And I don't remember like the screen letting you play games, and so the 4 hours went quick. But man, if the games were on the flight,
yeah,
it would have felt long. It would have felt the 4 hours that it didn't, and I wouldn't not being able to sleep. It would have been a longer trip. I don't know why someone, if you ask me like, why can't you sleep? I don't even know what the answer is. I don't know if I'm like, it's the New York City kid in me. Like,
it's at Brooklyn. You were afraid of somebody coming behind you.
Yeah. I don't know if that's it. Maybe subconsciously. I honestly don't know what it is. So I'll guess I'll use that because that's the only thing I can think of what it could be, but never been able to, sleep, even in a car. It's not even a plane thing. Even in a car, just can't do it. I can sleep on the mic though.
Yeah, you can't sleep. You can't sleep on the phone with somebody too.
I can do that, and I did. I remember it was probably a couple months ago. I was doing some late night recording, and I think I just crashed mid sentence. I woke up probably like 20 minutes later. I did in the Audacity, the program I use, it was just flatlining. It was still. So I went and listened. I'm like, did it catch me snoring? And it did. I said, man, I should get that out there. But
yeah. So I'm interested to see, and I'm going to do a little bit of pivot as well. Is buying singles on eBay, buying singles on Sport Lots to try to get that PSA up, to get the single
Sports Lots.
up,
I think I do more buying on Sports Lots than we've had this conversation this morning. I buy more. I buy more on Sports Lots than I sell on Sports Lots. And Sports Lots a great opportunity at that 18 cents.
Yeah.
Cheaper price. People forget, like somebody gets hot, they forget to change the prices, and you can run on there and buy them.
So yeah, and I was thinking about I was actually at the show probably 2 shows back, and a guy had brought a spiral, and in the spiral he had a great tip for somebody coming back into the hobby, from like 52 all the way through in baseball, from like probably 65 all the way up in football, and then in basketball he did probably 80, 83, 82. All he had was each rookie their Topps Panini, and then the card number. So when he was at the show, he didn't have to remember like 52 Mantle was number what?
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, you just
it's number,
you didn't
big
have
money.
Yes, big money number. But
Yeah.
we were. But I thought about that because you get into the 80s, you get into
I know
the
it's
90s.
not number one. Number 152 Topps is Andy Pafko.
There you go.
Dodgers, and I have that card. It's beat up, but I do own it. Was my dad gave, my dad had it, and he gave it to me. And
Speaking of beat up cards, so Rich has I don't remember the year, but he has a Willie Mays that it looks like a dog took bites out of it. And he's asking $30 for it, but it's actually booking it.
You don't remember what year it was?
I don't remember. You're gonna have to. I may take a picture of it and show it on Twitter later today. But it's just all sorts of crazy stuff.
Any crazy? You were there yesterday. Any crazy like old vintage unopened wax? Like at the 2019 National, there was that 7-pack brick of 1952 Topps. Did you see anything?
Not
to that
old.
effect?
There's like the retail wax was insane. It was absolutely insane. It blows my mind the amount of just retail wax, and it'll probably sit there.
Yeah. Well, what'd you say? The prices were on par? Were they inflated?
They were.
Because I thought about maybe buying a box and opening something up, while I'm down here. But obviously, you want to get a halfway decent deal, depending on what it is.
Yeah, like I found it on par with eBay comps. Everybody, everybody was
Well, that's
trying
the
to-
thing. When you go to a show now, say I remember doing shows like again,
Gosh.
first one, 1987,
So
15
Costa.
years old, before cell phones, right? But now you go to a show, it's you just walk around and everyone's dealers too, right? It's like on both sides of the table.
It's-
What is this comp? It's like no one wants to, I get it. The buyer wants to get a good deal and the seller doesn't, wants to be fair too. I get it. So I'm waiting
There's
for.
fair, but
I'm not
there's
going to be.
ridiculous.
I'm
I
not
mean-
going to be around, but in like 2070, we'll have chips implanted in our heads, and so you won't have to take out your phone. You will hear like a voice in the headset. eBay comp is $45, and the dealer will hear the same.
But by that time,
And
it'd
then
be just
you-
a pack of cards for $45.
Well, then you won't even have a phone. You just make all calls through the chip in your head, like
There you go.
call wife.
Call wife. She's sitting here calling me, going, "Hey."
And so everything will be a chip implanted in you, which is what some people claim the COVID vaccination is actually for. But
So we got chips in us now.
that's what they tell. I wanted chocolate chips. So
There you go.
I
I think
that's
they're
the
still in
only
kitchen.
chip. That's the only chip I really. Tortilla chips are pretty good too.
I like Ruffles that have ridges.
So,
Another cheap plug.
so
I
maybe
expect to be
someday
paid for that.
in the future at shows we won't see all the phones out. We'll just have, a
I will tell you, that is absolutely. I mean, you go through each booth, and the buyers and the sellers both have phones out, and they're scrolling, and you're like, "What happened to the art of negotiation? What happened to like?" I am on Instagram. It's at TX Card Dude, but I am like, it's ridiculous. I don't like it. I don't like it. But that's just me.
I'm not a fan of it per se, but I understand it. I mean, as a buyer, you're trying to. You know what I tend to do as a consumer when I'm not at the show as a dealer, when I'm looking at a card, and I don't like to do it necessarily at the table. So if I see a sort of a card I'm interested in, maybe I'll walk away or go to the side, then take out my phone. I don't think there's any rude etiquette if you did it at the table. I just choose sort of the, I tend to. This is sort of what I do when I'm as a consumer. I'll sort of walk the show, take a look at everything, just kind of remember certain cards I might be interested where
I will
they're
be
at.
following you, John, today.
And then I'll go and sort of look up what the market holds for those cards, and then there was a second run where maybe I try to purchase those, knowing the comps I looked up and whatnot. But there's times, you make a great point, just the art and the good. Sometimes I just won't do this. And you do this long enough. I've been doing this over 30 years. You sort of know without looking at always at your phone. Some things you do, the market changes every day. But I don't like to do it at the table per se. Just personal preference.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a rude thing, but it really hit me going to that national in Chicago in 2019 and walking the floor, and it was just a festival of phones.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely. And I'll give you a great example. We were Val and I. So I got to see Val yesterday. We hung out a lot. We were walking around, and we saw a PSA 8 certified Dale Earnhardt autographed card, and it was a 2001 press pass, and that's his lane. That's what he looked at the card,
Unintended.
and he's not exactly, and I said, well, ask the guy what he wants for it, and automatically in my head, I'm looking and I'm going, that's a C, that's $100 card, and I knew it. And I didn't say anything to Val because I wanted to see what Val would do. And Val asked how much it was, and the guy said $250. And I'm like,
see,
that's
this
ridiculous.
is Dale Earnhardt auto. See,
Yeah.
I would have thought it was more than $100. Is this a certified auto out of PAX or a hand in person?
Well, he got it from a collection, but it is PSA.
But I mean, it
certified.
comes out of the PAX autograph.
I thought I wasn't 100%
If it comes
sure.
to me, and I'm not a racing guy, so I'm just talking out, here when it comes to racing, I would guess a Dale Earnhardt, certified auto out of a pack would be more than $100. I know press pass, but someone who's unfortunately deceased at a young age, and I don't know if he was a prolific signer when he was.
He was a prolific signer, and
well,
01 is when he
guess,
passed.
But a legend of racing, arguably maybe the greatest, you know. And so Richard Petty, but I would guess not a car necessarily I'd want to own to buy. I would love to pull it if it was open, but I would have guessed more. I would have guessed probably closer. And again, I don't know. I would have guessed closer to the 250 than the 100. But Val would know.
Yeah.
Val,
well, I asked Val. I
Val's,
said, Val, I'd have paid 100 for it. And he goes, well, that's what I would have paid. Yeah. And I'm going, okay. Well, there's the difference between gut feeling and what you would pay for it versus what eBay comps would go for. And I just went, yeah. He used to say that. Herman. He would sign when Teresa would let him 100% because as after the race, Teresa would be pulling him away, and he'd stand there for hours just to sign.
Yeah.
But I was thinking 100. eBay comps was 250, and I'm like, I would buy it at 100.
$100 is not. I don't want someone out there was man $100. When you think of where we're at hobby wise now, $100 is not a lot of money, and so this is a Dale Earnhardt, senior certified auto.
But I'm cheap.
Like I said, I like to be frugal too, but I would think closer to the 250 than the 100.
Well, I would. Neither one of us.
Now, if it was like in person, like just hey, a card you handed them, and then you got it like certified, I'd still probably think even more than because what's it cost even to get that certification, right?
Yeah. So, well, yeah, that'd be probably in the close to the $100 range.
Yeah. So.
Oh well. Well, that's it. We went long. I usually I usually only go 30 minutes, but we went an hour. It's okay. We did an hour and 6 minutes.
I won some money because before I came on the show, I went online on Vegas and I bet the over under on the show today was 45 minutes, and I bet the over. So
no, I would bet that over too.
They may not pay me since I've sort of influence how that works, but
and Mrs. Texas Card Dude sitting there going, "Will you guys get off the freaking deal so I can go to work?" See, I thought she would make a special appearance on here with John here, but
it's
too many heads.
It's Dr. John, by the way.
Oh, excuse me, Dr. John Newman. Okay. All right, everybody. I'll conclude with my typical. If you have any prayer requests, please let me know. I do pray for everyone who requests, and we've had some answer to some prayers. Support your local LCS. Please support your local LCS. If you're in Madison, go to the Madison Card Show. If you're in Dallas, come see us.
Chantilly today.
Chantilly as well. I forgot about that. Chantilly as well.
Shows, man, they're blowing up. Which is good. I say that in a good way. It's good to see, people getting out and getting out of the house and going back to some sort of normalcy. Going to a show brings sort of normalcy back to the hobby.
Exactly.
It's good to see.
Exactly. Support your local LCS. We really appreciate you spending some time and spending part of your day yucking it up with us. Thank you very much. And again, God bless.
Sports Card Nation with this guy.
Go get as many clicks as possible and multiple clicks.
I get paid for downloads, so listen to it 4 times.
Oh, we're gonna listen to it in the car on the way.
We are. We haven't heard it yet ourselves, other than recording it. So
it'll be interesting to see. Y'all have a great day, a great weekend, and God bless y'all.